Hey there, welcome back to the Art and Susie channel. We are so excited that you joined us. And my name is Suzanne and
I'm Art.
And
today we're going to talk about how we met.
And before he goes into that, I just want to say, hey look, we're not professionals, but we love sharing our story, and we hope that you enjoy the story on how we met today. Okay, and it's still kind of weird for us. I mean, we're doing this stuff and it's like, what are you doing? But it'll all make sense.
Well, we hope that, in our story we encourage you and give you some hope and let you know that no matter how it looks right now, it will get better.
Absolutely. Where you are, just be there. There's a purpose.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, take it away, Art.
Take it away. So, before we talk about exactly how we met, because it's like everybody's story, it's a long story. In relationships, there are times where those things attracted you to one another can sometimes be those things that drive you absolutely crazy. So you have to be aware of that.
Absolutely.
But with us, we keep coming back to one of the things, and as we continue on our journey, we really focus on the differences.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes we're so apt to, we're not the same. We have this compulsion that we should be identical, that we should be the same, and we should think alike and do everything alike. And it leads to friction because, well, that just doesn't happen. So we have a much more focused and concerted effort on our differences, highlighting them, bringing them up, and more than that, embracing them and really appreciating them. Because in couples, in relationships, it's really those differences. It's what makes you interesting. It's what helps you grow.
Absolutely.
And I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I think sometimes you think you want to be the same, but you really don't. With the two of you together, you're creating something totally new. And the more you focus on these differences, the more interesting it becomes.
Where are you from, and how did
How
did art get started?
I grew up in a small rural town, almost a farm community. Actually, its roots are in as a farming community. Pretty white bread. I mean, diversity was not a thing. It was not a thing. Pretty homogenized. So growing up, for whatever the reason, nice community, and the older I've gotten, the more I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm ungrateful, but at the time, I did not appreciate it. There was something about it that to me was claustrophobic. The prom and the football games and I don't know, you marry your high school sweetheart and all that, for whatever the reason, just did not appeal to me. I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So somehow I knew there was more. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what it looked like. So much of my childhood, I was rebelling against the norm and what was expected, and all of those things I thought were just dreadfully boring.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't know what I wanted, but it left me open. I was open to new.
But you knew what you didn't want.
But I knew what I didn't.
Which
was? I couldn't see it. I figured I'd be the consummate bachelor, and I don't know, whatever. So I was open. I was open to new experiences, and most of my youth I was rebelling, against that.
Mm-hmm.
Safe rebellion. There wasn't really anything crazy. I didn't do anything horrible. But that set the stage.
You just stole street signs.
Yeah, just permanently borrowed some street signs at 2 a.m. But that set the stage.
Coming for you.
As to how, you and I would have even met.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the background and the premise of how we got started, or how I got started.
Yeah.
And your story is?
For me, I was born a poor black child. In the back hills of Jamaica. And I do believe that, just like Artie, I didn't have an appreciation for it then. And growing up, I was one of 6 siblings, and we were poor. I don't think we realized it then, because my mom and dad were so good at providing for us. was talking to my daughter recently who talked about, hustling. We're hustlers. She does her things on her own on the side. And okay, I'm going on.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Wait a second. He told me not to go off subject too much. They took very, very good care of us. They were dedicated to the ministry because they were pastors. And growing up back then, I thought to myself, there's got to be more. There has got to be more than this Jamaican thing. Reggae and, oxtails and rice and beans, which I love. Please don't get me wrong. I just knew that there was more. And I think the adventurous side of myself is something that even as siblings, we are all addicted to. Traveling and seeing more and doing more. Okay. And so we came to the U.S., way back when at 14 years old, and very turbulent for me as far as what am I about? And went off to New York to figure out the world, came back, and one year I was working for Kelly Temporaries. Kelly Temporaries. I was still very, I was restless. I think at that point, though, in my life, I became a little more calm. And I'm not going to plug anybody, but don't plug anybody. I read this amazing book. No, that's bad because I like her. I read this amazing book that really gave me a sense of what was really, really important. What's really important. And I think at the core of Artie and I, that is something that we have in common.
Yeah, so even though we're so totally different, obviously, if we had nothing in common, what would we have? We wouldn't have anything. But yeah, it's our values. Both of our parents stayed together. We have very similar values in terms of how we view the world and how we view people.
Right.
And so at our core, that's what's the same, and that's really the glue that holds us together.
Right. When I discovered the true sense of love versus fear, and no, I'm not going off the rails.
I know you want to. You want to.
When I discovered,
stay on topic.
I am going to stay on topic. When I discovered love versus fear, and was able to recognize that in my surroundings and in what I wanted, and he walked in. Oh, okay. So here
You're a temp.
So I'm a temp. I'm a temp at this roofing company, and I'm the receptionist. And he walks in after, a brief encounter on the phone.
And I don't remember that.
Yeah, a brief encounter on the phone. He called, and I suppose we had, a great repertoire on the phone. And he insisted then that he was coming in. That's what you told me. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then what?
Well, so at the time then, now I am a sales rep. At the time, this was in the cellular phone industry, and you can tell I'm dating myself because I call it a cellular phone. But we sold phones and pagers, if you remember pagers, and tuner radios. So anyhow, I was an outside sales rep, and I sold to businesses. So I come in my suit and my Argyle socks, and I'm dressed to the T. And I walk in, I've got my banana and my yogurt, and
he had a banana under his armpit like this, as he is eating a yogurt with a spoon, inquiring about whoever he came to see.
Kind of hanging out.
Just hanging out.
So I slide open the glass.
And I'm thinking, who is this guy?
And I look at you, I look at the Suze, and I see this big, beautiful smile, which... Same smile.
Aww.
And I'm hooked. Whatever it was, there was something about that, but that's what it was right off the get-go, and it's because of my background and being open to that.
Yeah.
had I just gone through the motions and did what everyone did and what I was supposed to do, I don't know that I would ever have paid that any mind at all. It probably would not have been something I even thought about.
Right.
You would have been a receptionist to get me through to whoever, but you smiled and now we're done.
That's amazing. And my thought process was, oh my gosh, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, the whole banana and the yogurt thing. Okay.
It was into lifting.
Yeah, he was lifting that. He was like, he had a big neck, big guy. And I thought, oh, who is this? But what I saw in his eyes was kindness. Just absolute, unadulterated. Is that a word?
Unadulterated.
Yeah, my dad used to use that when he preached.
Untainted.
Untainted. Just pure and pure, honest kindness. And I thought to myself, this is my thought process. I thought, ooh, I'd like to get to know that guy. I'd like to be a part of that. And then the thought process came. Way out of my league. It's not. I'm not going to do this you and me against the world thing. I remember.
That wasn't there. I was just thinking you were kind of odd.
I was like, not gonna do that.
So I kept coming back and kept coming back.
He did.
Anyhow, that's part one. Part two, we'll go into a little more detail of how this sort of unfolded.
Yeah.
But the point here is just your background. Pay attention to your background.
Yeah.
And highlight the differences. The differences are awesome.
Don't be afraid of them.
The similarities are awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of a given, but embrace the differences are what lead to change. Those things that you loved. I love the fact that she was so different.
Yeah.
Not just the race. It's well beyond that. It's the background. Your family and the whole. That was fantastic.
Church and everything. He was from a totally different background.
Submarine religion, like come up for air on Christmas and Easter.
Yeah.
So that was my background. So the opposite of that was really appealing to me, but as we got deeper into our relationship, that became more of a challenge.
Yeah.
There's a tendency to go backwards and to settle and sink into what is comfortable and familiar, and without being intentional.
Don't settle.
Without.
Don't settle, sure. Hey.
Yeah, you have to be intentional about
Very
that
intentional.
and focus on it. It leads to pain, but pain leads to growth. And we're not experts. We're not professionals. There's been a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But we're focused on growth.
Definitely focused on growth. I think the statement that I make to him all the time is, hey, if we're not growing, we ain't going. Okay? We have nothing. That is usually what I say to him. We have nothing. So
that is us today, part one. We'll
part one.
Pick up on this next time.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe. We really, please subscribe. We really wanted to chat with you.
We hope this encourages and gives you some hope, and hang in there. It gets better. It gets good.
More to come.
More to come.
Over and out. So stay strong.
Stay strong.
Stay together.
Stay together.
And stay in love.
All right, so that's how we're going to do it. And we'll see you next time.
Take care.